But today we will be light. It is a slideshow. Oh, here. It is a collection of photographs taken by reporters in 2020, mainly focusing on Chinese fight against the COVID-19. Is that? Ah, what a coincidence. So I had to watch it tonight. Okay. Four corners. Last night. Okay, good. I will look for it when I'm home. Okay, so this picture is taken on the 22nd June. Now, at that time, Chinese people already started wearing masks. So that's very early. Now, remember, the lockdown is actually on the 23rd. So on the 22nd, people are still moving through the Wuhan railway stations. Wuhan being a city almost in the middle of China, therefore it is a major traffic hub. So a lot of trains going into Wuhan and then departing. And remember, 24th January 2020 is the Chinese New Year. So it is at the peak of the spring migrations every year, about 2 weeks before the Chinese New Year and 2 weeks after the Chinese New Year has a peak movement of people in China, typically around 2 billion trips, typically. So, typically it's about 200 million trips. And on 24th, a construction site in Wuhan is being cleared for building a temporary hospital called Foshan Hospital. So you can see just within 24 hours, the large equipments have already moved in. And remember, that is the first day of the Chinese New Year, 24th. So a lot of workers actually left home while having their Chinese New Year Eve dinner before they come and join here. And on 26th, the military medical team head for Wuhan. So the first group of medical personnel going to Wuhan is from the military. A lot of medical professionals decided to leave their hometown to serve in Wuhan. So this is one of the pictures taken by the reporters on January 28th. I don't know who is leaving. I can't tell from the name who is who. But anyway, a newlywed separates, and one of them is going into the center of the epidemic. So I think there's a bit of sadness there. Another portrait taken of a daughter. She also came from another area, joining the fight for the COVID-19. Now remember, that is a very, very early stage. They only know that it is a coronavirus. They have, at that time, they already have the DNA sequence, but nothing else. How to cure, they don't know, and how to test whether the patient is actually a COVID-19 patient or not is still very weak, because they haven't really nailed down the testing techniques. Yeah. The one in full suit is a policeman. He is carrying one of the patients to a hospital. Probably he won't walk all the way, but at least he had to walk from where the car left the patients and then carry him or her, I think it's a her, to the hospital. By February the 2nd, the one we saw earlier has already transformed into this format. Now this is a 2-story building, and it is a custom-built hospital for treating an infectious disease. It has patients' rooms. Each rooms have 2 patients, and the wards are negative pressure. That means air can flow into the wards, but air from the wards cannot flow out. The air from the wards are being sucked to a disinfection machine to be disinfected before it is released back to the air. So this is a brand new hospital with 1,000 beds. The layout is that the wards are on the outer side of the building, and the inside of the building is the nurse and doctor's path. So the inside of the buildings is disinfected. So when the doctors went into the wards, they cannot go out from the same door. They have to go out from somewhere else in order to get disinfected, in order not to contaminate the corridor. Another picture showing the workers walking towards a isolation rooms with all kinds of materials. Now this is a very interesting makeshift hospital with what they call the square cabin hospital. This hospital, before it transformed into this form, was a large space like a gymnasium or a exhibition center. So in a large exhibition center, you already has roof to cover. So what they do is partition the hall into different sections and take the beds there and have patients who is able to manage themselves, but has been confirmed as a COVID-19 patients. So in the COVID-19 case, we have a lot of patients who have no symptoms, but they would have confirmed to have carrying the virus. So these people has to be isolated in order to stop the spread of the virus. The best method of isolation is put them in a hospital where they will receive 24 hours care. In case these patients' situation deteriorate, they can be easily transported to a hospital. But while they're there, they have a bed, they can read. The only thing is they all have to wear masks. They can do whatever they like. And then I think I have another picture showing you.
But could we go back to that last photo? Yeah, look, it's interesting. Yes, they're wearing masks, but the beds are so close to each other, there's really no isolation for COVID patients. I'm quite surprised.
Well, they are all COVID patients.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are all COVID patients. Because
I suppose they're working on the theory, you've already got COVID, you can't get it from somebody else. But
yeah,
they're very close.
COVID, then it's the same COVID. Because that is the very early beginning of the epidemic. So at the very beginning, there's not many variants.
Right.
So when
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got
Okay.
COVID, then your COVID is the same as my COVID and the same as her COVID and his COVID, etc. So we can put all these people in here. But for the personnel, medical personnel, they are in full protection, full
But
PPE protection.
But even so, the nearness would stop recovery. If you were isolated, you might recover quickly, but because the beds are so close, instead of recovering, you get somebody else's COVID germs.
But COVID is COVID. When you recover from your COVID, you recover from other people's COVID as well, because your body build up the system to
How is the COVID identified for these patients?
by testing.
So they're testing by this stage?
Yeah, they are testing by that stage already. So they actually started testing around very early. So again, this is another hospital.
Excuse me, Albert, this is a new member for you. And he thought that you were still running your other class.
Oh, sorry. Please join, please join.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Just quickly, I let you know what we are doing at the moment. Today, it is a light section. We are not talking about something hot, but we will. And we are showing the photographs taken by reporters in China in 2020 during the COVID epidemic. At that time, it's still epidemic, not pandemic yet, because it becomes a pandemic in March when it spread outside of China. But at that time, by February the 5th, the second hospital is almost ready. This one is even larger than the one before. This one has 1,600 beds and also custom built to handle the situation. You look closely, every one of these actually is a container box. So they're stacking containers, and then all the installations were done in the factory, and then the whole box is take to the site, join it together, and then connect up all the hose and the electricity, and that's why they can build it in such a short time. The Forsenstein hospital is built in about 10 days. This one is in about 2 weeks, 14 days. A 1,000 bed hospital in 10 days, 1,600 hospital in 14 days. So it is a rapid response, very, very fast response.
Presumably, Albert,
Sorry, Albert, stop. I have another question and I will come back to you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Albert, do you think that will remain as a permanent hospital?
No, it won't, because it is just custom built for the purpose. And this is not the first time China do that. During SARS, they also built one, but that one was in Beijing. And then after use, then the hospital is left there and eventually all decay away. So I don't think they will keep the hospital as well. Yes, Albert?
Yeah, you were talking about the speed in which the hospitals were built, and I'm imagining many, many thousands of workers on site.
Yeah, at that time, they estimate at about 30,000 workers.
30,000, wow, goodness.
Well, China has 1.4 billion people.
Yeah.
30,000 is nothing. No, it won't, because now the site themselves haven't got patients yet. Yeah, these people come in from outside Wuhan, and then they stay in that compound, and they're not allowed to move out of the compound, and they are rushing. So they work almost 16 hours per day. And basically, they just sleep, eat, work, sleep, eat, work. That's what they do for 10 days or 20 or 2 weeks. Then they go back home. So from what I can gather, there's no infections among the workers. Amazing, isn't it? Hard to believe. Yes. Okay, this is one critical patients being treated. You see, the doctors, etc., are all in heavy personal protection equipments. After one shift, that is their faces. I found these are very beautiful pictures because it really tell you how hardworking these persons are when they go to them during the whole shift. They can't eat, they can't drink, and they can't even go to toilet. So they have to wear adult diapers because at that time the personal protective equipment is very scarce. Nobody have stockpile of millions of PPE at that time. So they put on two coats of PPE, 2 layers. So if they do anything like drinking or go to the toilet, they waste 2 pairs of PPE. So in order to save it, they wear diapers and they don't drink and eat. So you can imagine after a probably not 8 hour, maybe 6 hour shifts, you will be dehydrated, very exhausted, and then there will be volunteers picking them up, send them back to hospital, to a hotel for rest, and then the cycle goes again on the next shift. And then China also motivated a lot of the community workers to police and publicize information about the prevention and control of movements. So you can see the community workers walking down a narrow street in the back of something. And we can still see people buying food from over there. Okay, now that is what happened inside that hospital with so many beds. The one in full gear are the medical staffs, and all the other people are the patients. Now these patients is able to take care of themselves, but they also need to be entertained. So doing line dancing is one of the entertainment the Chinese people enjoy. And of course, the medical staff in that heavily suit up probably will be very hot, but at that time it is winter anyway. Cheer up, that is February the 2nd. And the material coming in trucks, and at that time it was also raining. So this is a truck carrying disinfectants donated by Qinghao district of Qingdao. Okay, whatever. Again, I think this is one of the hospital interactions. The doctor is fully shut up, and the patient is saying thank you to the doctor. I guess it from the hand signal. And this is the view of one of those temporary hospital within a, I think that is a stadium. You see they are blocked up one by one rows, and in the middle there's a row, a corridor where the nursing staff will work, and then the people are sleeping on both sides. Now, building one of these take about 24 hours. Again, not by one person, of course. 24 hours build one, and they eventually built 23 of them in Wuhan alone. This is inside a big building. It's a stadium, undercover stadium. And the doctors working in the wards are not able to go back home because they fear spreading the virus to their family members. So they sleep in their car. What a sad story, but both of them are medical physicians, I think. One is a nurse, another is a doctor. It's really funny. What he's carrying is medicines. He is one of those persons sending medicines to different clients. So he collected a whole lot of scripts, go to the pharmacy, package them up, and then carrying that back for distribution. I find this very funny. But obviously, you can imagine how many bags he is carrying. Maybe 40. I will think there will be similar length on his back as well. So, okay, life still have to go on. The courses switch to online, and therefore they now are demonstrating using live stream. So the teachers are showing how to do ballet dancing, I suppose. Now this is a factory to make the PPE. And the factory workers are all masked up as well, because they don't want them to contaminate the PPE. So they have to be checked every time when they go into the factory, make sure they are not carrying the virus. Transporting a patient for a CT scan and watch is that sunset or sunset? Okay, watch the sunset together. And transporting the patients using a negative pressure isolation ambulance. So at that time, the ambulance is also negative pressure. So air is being sucked into a disinfectant units so that air is only flowing in, not flowing out. Okay, when her large batch of patients left, so her hard work is finished. That's March the 8th. So about 2 months time, China have the virus under control. A machine is infecting the makeshift hospital by spraying disinfectants. Oh, I'm tired. Let me use a soda. These are patients leaving the rehabilitation centers. One question is, where do they find all this number of beds? Suddenly they open up a makeshift hospital with 1,000 beds. Where they get the beds? No. Yes.
Maybe the Chinese People's Army has prefabricated hospitals if they're suddenly going to battle somewhere.
Yeah, but the prefabricated battles are on trucks, but they are not aimed at treating thousands of patients. So where the beds come from?
Those 30,000 workers you were talking about before, would some of them be constructing the beds?
No.
They're not new?
Now, okay, I'll give you the answer. The beds come from the schools. Chinese schools are boarding schools. And during COVID, all schools closed. So their boarding schools beds are empty. And so they send truck to schools to collect the beds and send it to the makeshift hospitals.
Are all Chinese schools boarding schools?
Almost.
Oh.
Almost. With very few exceptions.
That would be secondary, not at primary level.
Oh, primary as well.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Of course, depending on now, some of the schools are in the village, so it doesn't need to be boarding school. But some of the schools are far away from the village. They may have to walk about 2 hours to go to school, so they can't walk 2 hours, go to school 2 hours back, so they board. Now remember, in China, in a rural area, a lot of the transportation is available only on your feet and nothing else. So you walk most of the time. Sorry? No. Included 9 years education. That is a major part of the nutrition for the children as well, for the poor family. For the very poor family, their school meals is much better than their home meal. Hopefully have changed now, but okay, bidding farewell to the assistant teams from Guangdong. So another province sent in their medical staff and they are leaving. A lot of them haven't seen each other's face because they're always masked up. So what they do, how do they recognize who is who? When they, hello? Hello, hello? What can I do for you? Oh, thank you very much. I'm not interested in your energy. Okay. Some of them never see each other because they are all messed up. But of course, if the whole team come, the team themselves know each other. So when they dress up, they will write their name in the back. But for these people with them, they don't recognize them because at that time they're all masked up. So actually, this year, a lot of reunions happening. Now, this is how they have lunch, okay? At a distance, 2-meter distance, the workers' lunch. And of course, they do square dance or what we call line dance everywhere in China. You have a space there where you can see line dance. And the traffic isn't bad yet. This is one of those very famous buildings, the Yellow Crane Tower. It's one of a very old tower, and it's one of the attractions of Wuhan. Okay, by April 8th, the haven't seen a long time high-speed rail started service again. And she is one of the train attendants on the first service since lockdown. And she is departing in Wuhan and doing a farewell. I think that is historic. The virus was under control by April, yes. Of course, we like to have t-shirts, but the t-shirt store also need to keep the 2-meter distance. So they're waiting on their chair. massage. A nurse is massaging a patient's feet. When you are in bed too long, you need massage. Wow, what a lovely couple. They can't wait. The first day when Wuhan lockdown is lifted, they have their wedding photographs. Actually, they plan to get wed during that time. So the wedding is delayed. So once they got the chance, they go out and people started going out to have food, and there's a lot of sculptures around as well. Delivery of pickup food. A patient is showing a thumb up to the doctor, say, I'm okay. Look at the patient's hand, it's so dry. Hopefully he or she recover. I hope so. I don't know. But it is from ICU, so at least it's able to shut up the thumb is good sign. Okay, a cook preparing one of those very famous dish in Wuhan, a noodle dish, which is called hot and dry noodles. I am watering in my mouth, wanting to try it. From then onwards, the schools had to put on a purpose around the students. I think that is going to stay for a long time. Students going back to campus, the Southwest University in Chongqing is a very famous technical university. Hey, Pearl, long time no see. Now, it is not hospital anymore. It is laboratory for processing the COVID tests. So the whole thing comes in a balloon type of structure. So they blow it up, and then they will have a sterile place for the technicians to do their for processing the tests. First time they're able to see movies. A police officer salutes a driver transporting epidemic prevention and control supplies in Urumqi, which is in Xinjiang Uyghur Autonomous Region. The pool party. August 19, the pool party. Wow, so close. I don't know what's a pool party until I see this picture. There are singers, they're immersed in water. August in China is summer, so they are having good time. Almost naked. This one is from also Urumqi in Xinjiang, and all the supplies are spaced apart, so the owner come and find your own and then collect it. A COVID test. Now this is also COVID test. Wow, what a long queue. I think this is one of those schools. So they probably set up a COVID test center in one school. Yeah, the Chinese call that nucleic DNA test. It's COVID-19 using testing, looking for the virus DNA. No, that's the Chinese name. Is the what we call COVID test here. Yeah.
It's a translation from the Chinese name.
Yeah. The translation is done by Xinhua News Agency. V sign. The Chinese know how to do a V sign. This is already December now. I'm going too fast. Another guy flu raining. That's not tears. It is rain. Finished. I have 50 something slides, and I can finish it in half an hour. Wheel, navigator. So how many slides I have? I have 57 slides, meant to be 1 minute each slide. Okay, next time I have to prepare 60 slides then. No, 100 slides. Where do I get these slides come from? Collected over time from different Chinese websites. Yes.
When you see Four Corners from last night, it's showing that it's like the Chinese authorities greatly suppressed the numbers that come out with the original, I forget the number, 31 or whatever it was, but they just kept the number at that. They didn't increase the number. There must have been a lot more people catching it, but they didn't increase the numbers. So they're inferring the numbers were heavily suppressed.
I don't believe that. For two reasons. First reason. Now, initially, the Chinese government, especially the local government, might suppress the number. Okay, but once Chinese say the Chinese government in Beijing say we will tackle that problem, then there's no point for them to suppress the number again. Actually, I would tend to say they will boost the number in order to get the maximum resource for themselves. Okay, so from the local government's perspective, initially they might want to suppress the number to show that my area is doing fine. But once they know that there will be resources pouring in when you have a problem, I would say they could give at least accurate number to get the resources necessary. So that's one thing. The second thing is we saw that at the moment, China has basically removed all social distancing. So if they haven't been able to control the virus, it will be still having people die. At the moment, we don't see that at the moment. That means they really have controlled the virus. If they have controlled the virus, that we also mean that looking at the time they take and then how long it becomes to recover, I think they are reporting real numbers. Yes?
Yeah, I'd really love to hear your comments after you see the Four Corners of it.
Yeah, I was.
Because it was a very powerful program last night, I thought, and it does contradict your
Yeah,
and the Chinese government view. And to pick up on the point that Cliff just raised, the numbers, if you take the Four Corners program as it was presented, the numbers were totally suppressed at the start. The Chinese government would have known exactly how bad the epidemic or pandemic was, but they didn't report it. They put forward numbers which conveyed very low impact, and at the same time they were doing all that stuff that Bill just showed us, building huge hospitals and probably fighting the virus very well. But that wasn't what they were conveying to the Western world, and they were deliberately holding back stuff from the WHO.
Okay, now look.
I'd love to see your comments after you.
Yeah, but I better watch and before I make comment, because I have made a video beforehand to show the development sequence of the COVID. So I have a rough idea of when a certain event happens. So let me watch and then we'll come.
I went through all that in quite
Yeah.
detail, the sequence of how it all.
Okay, now since we have still some time, do you like to see another collections of photographs from China? This time, this collection, I haven't shot them out yet. So let me move back. Resources, beautiful China. Okay. This April. So you will see I have started collecting this long time ago. Okay. So what's the that's February. I think I need to sort them by time because they are in chunks of. So, okay, this collection of photographs I started collecting in this batch is in February, this year, February 17. So let me just change the share screen first. So stop share. And then I will share another screen. Let me see whether I can do it. This one, open up the picture. Okay. And then I will share this screen, see whether I can do it. No, I think I better share the whole desktop. That's the way. Desktop. Come on. Share. Okay, I close down some of this. These are very random scenic photographs from China, usually in set of 4. I haven't decided what to call them and how to organize them, but since we got some time, so obviously this 4 is about a river somewhere in China. Another scenic area, which is this one, is the sign of a famous restaurant. If you go to the same restaurant, the same name here in Australia, it is in Melbourne, it is one of the most expensive Chinese restaurants in Chinatown. And this one.
Which restaurant is that, Albert?
I don't know his English name. Flower Drum.
Oh, yeah. Been to the Flower Drum.
Beautiful restaurant, good food, expensive.
It's expensive, but it's certainly not the most expensive in Melbourne, let me assure you.
I say Chinese restaurant.
Yeah.
Expensive Chinese restaurant.
Well,
you may disagree anyway. Doesn't matter.
But the food is good.
You want to invite me there?
Yeah.
Okay, this is random Chinese scenery. So I still haven't made up my mind how to organize them. So and I don't know where each of them come from at the moment. So I need to do a lot of research organizing them into a Popeye. This is a very typical Chinese city. They will always have a city gate. And this was a time when they have drones. So everybody is taking drones pictures. And this is one of the typical high-speed rail bridge across 2 cliffs. This is very rural. And this bridge is also a very rural bridge. Another rural area, and I think this one is somewhere in the southern region of China. The round house? In the, which one? This one? This? No, yeah, square house. I will. Will you like me to talk about round houses?
Yes, again, you have
Okay.
before.
Yes, it's something interesting.
It is wonderful.
Oh, one direction. The same village. This one is in the Forbidden City. The lion in the Forbidden City. So you see, it's rather random at the moment. Another Forbidden City sculptures. Yeah, another Forbidden City sculpture, and one more, I think. Yes. Okay, changing to somewhere else. Where? I haven't able to find out where at the moment. Let's see. Some scenic area, put it that way. Chinese like to feed wild animals, which is no good. And the birds have learned how to pick it up from tourist hands. Wow.
That's the same in Australia.
Same everywhere, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I think this is one of the lakes, either in Beijing or in Hangzhou. I found a lot of these kind of pictures, close up of wild animals. I found them beautiful, so I collected them. This is traditional Chinese dress. I find beautiful. The Chinese girls dressing like this is really, really beautiful. And this is one of the gardens with flowers open because it is spring now. And people go to streets where you see the berry blossoms, berry trees. Okay, switching to an industrial area. This is a port. You notice all the car there. There's no driver seat. They are all autonomous cars working in a port, container port. So all this blue thing there, and then they will arrive at a certain place, let the crane drop the container onto it, and then they will know where to go, and then will put the container somewhere. And the whole operation has no people on the ground. All the people is in the control center. Like that. Okay, this one is in Ningbo. It's from the Ningbo harbor. And that is where the ship parks and the trucks dislodge the cargo or put the cargo onto the ship. Another bird photographs. I don't know. Anyone? Too small to eat, I suppose. Okay, another blossom scenes. The girls are having good time there. The lakes. Chinese are now enjoying themselves. Okay, this is some art, handicrafts. This is a what's it called? G-R-U-D? Gold. Okay. And oh, one size. It was this small. There are some big ones, some small ones. They used to be our water bottles. Well, of course, nowadays they are for art. Birds again. Birds again. This one, I don't know where. This kind of bridges is everywhere in China, and this is in some Western area, I suppose. Panda. And this is a very typical small town side streets. I don't know how a tree got to this shape. Not just one. I have no idea. But that's beautiful, isn't it? Lovely kisses. Wow. So not only human can kiss. High-speed rail. Another high-speed rail. Technology, old building, and flowers. And flowers. And flowers. Yeah, and the Chinese are now managing their farmland by drones. Drones again. Drones again. Drones again. So nowadays the farmers use drones rather than use themselves. So these drones is able to have, this one I think is carrying a camera. Some other drones can carry some pesticide sprayer, etc., to spray wherever they want to do. Okay, another group of Chinese girls dressed in the traditional Chinese dress, I suppose. Yes, they are coming there watching fireworks. Yeah, I don't know what is the occasion anyway. Another traditional Chinese food, and these are made of glutinous rice flour, and then using some kind of coloring to denote what is inside, I suppose. And so many. Very traditional thing. Okay, this is the Chinese Valentine Day, the Lantern Day, Lantern Night, and this is the glutinous rice dumpling. Yep. Isn't that colorful? Beautiful. Some kind of parade, I suppose. Dragons, of course. So they would decorate up a little street so that people come and they have good time. Tiger, another tiger. Yeah, another tiger. Okay, a trained tiger. And then birds, snows. Yellow, the round building. And then the young building, the round building, I think I will talk about that. Snows, oh, sorry, one direction. They're having a festival, so they're cooking up for the whole people in that round building. and they sit together and having the lions and the dragons come along. And the zodiac, the Chinese zodiac is on year, it's not by month. So we have the cow, the tiger, the chicken, etc. Chili pepper. And this is the chrysanthemum flower.
Chrysanthemum.
This is peaches or tomato. And there's mushrooms. This one is mushrooms, I know. Okay, I think about that. All right. Thank you, everybody.